The Trump administration, under the directive of Department of Government Efficiency head Elon Musk, recently made an unprecedented move. They offered a buyout to federal employees. This fork in the road offer, as it was dubbed, promised continued pay until September 2025 for those who resign by Thursday night. The goal? To trim the federal government. The move sparked immediate controversy. 3 unions, representing a massive 800,000 federal workers, filed a lawsuit they call the buyout offer unlawful and arbitrary. They argued that it would drain the government of vital expertise. The unions also feared that vacant positions could be filled based on political leanings rather than merit. The buyout offer itself was quite simple. Employees who chose to accept would continue receiving their salaries until September 30th, 2025. This was despite the fact that current agency funding was set to expire much sooner, in March of the same year. The fork in the road language was particularly striking. It mirrored the phrasing used by Elon Musk during his job cuts at Twitter following his takeover in 2022. Critics saw this as a blatant attempt to impose a similar management style on the federal government, raising concerns about the offer's true intentions and legality. The lawsuit filed by the unions was a direct challenge to the Trump administration's actions. At the heart of their argument was the claim that the buyout violated the Administrative Procedure Act. This law requires a clear legal basis for such significant government actions, which the unions argued was missing. One of their biggest concerns was the promise of continued pay beyond the current budget cycle. With appropriations set to expire in March, the unions questioned where the funding for these buyouts would come from. They argued that the government might not be legally obligated to honor the agreement once the current funding ran out. Furthermore, the unions claimed that the buyout was inherently unfair. It came on the heels of threats of future layoffs, creating a climate of fear and uncertainty among federal workers. This pressure, they argued, forced employees to make rushed decisions about their careers without adequate information or time to consider their options. The unions saw this buyout offer as a calculated attack on the federal workforce. They believed it was designed to eliminate experienced employees, weaken unions, and ultimately pave the way for a smaller, less accountable government. Their lawsuit was a desperate attempt to protect their members and the integrity of the federal service. In a significant turn of events, a federal judge temporarily blocked the Trump administration's buyout offer. Judge George O'Toole Jr. issued a temporary restraining order, putting the brakes on the plan until at least Monday afternoon. This decision came as a relief to the unions and thousands of federal employees who were still grappling with the implications of the offer. The judge's decision to intervene added a new layer of complexity to the situation. While he didn't comment on the merits of the case during the initial hearing, describing it as a table-setting session, his willingness to issue a temporary block suggested that he saw merit in the union's arguments. Despite the legal challenge and the judge's order, it was estimated that at least 40,000 federal workers Roughly 2% of the civilian workforce had already accepted the buyout offer before it was halted. This highlighted the difficult choices many employees faced, feeling pressured to accept the offer despite its controversial nature and uncertain future. The Department of Justice, tasked with defending the administration's actions, announced that they would be notifying all affected federal employees about the judge's ruling. This added to the uncertainty and anxiety for many, leaving them in limbo as they awaited further instructions and the outcome of the upcoming hearing. The judge's decision to temporarily block the buyout offer has left the future of the federal workforce hanging in the balance. The upcoming hearing will be crucial in determining the legality of the offer and its long-term implications. If the judge sides with the unions, the Trump administration could be forced to scrap the plan entirely, dealing a significant blow to their efforts to reshape the government. On the other hand, if the judge rules in favor of the administration, the buyout offer could be reinstated. This would likely lead to a wave of departures from the federal government, potentially creating staffing shortages and disrupting essential services. The long-term consequences of such a brain drain are difficult to predict, but could have a lasting impact on the effectiveness of the federal government. The outcome of this case has far-reaching implications that extend beyond the immediate impact on federal employees. It raises critical questions about the balance of power between the executive branch and the judiciary, the rights of federal workers, and the role of government in a democratic society. The judge's decision will set an important precedent, shaping the relationship between the government and its workforce for years to come. Regardless of the final ruling, the controversy surrounding the buyout offer has exposed deep divisions within the government, highlighted the growing concerns about the politicization of the civil service. The case serves as a stark reminder of the importance of protecting the integrity and independence of the federal workforce, ensuring that it can continue to serve the interests of the public effectively and impartially.